We're live. Yes, I think we're live. All right, guys, welcome to the WAN show. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn my... What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I have my voice in my ear.
How's your day going?
So I'm being confused.
Good?
Yes, and so some of you may have noticed that last week when I had Harry Potter as my co-host, the show managed to actually stay on topic, and some of you wish for that trend to continue, so I'm going to do my utmost to not let him completely derail this show. Yeah, we're just going to bring Harry Potter back permanently. So we got a bunch of great topics for you guys. HTC's value has plummeted so much in the last 4 years that they are now effectively valueless. More on that at 11. Alphabet, a company called Alphabet, now owns Google. Not just owns like pwned their base, but like owns like they belong to them. Also, some poor farmer was quoted, yes, I see Harry, thank you. You can touch me with your Harry something else, but not that one. Some farmer was quoted hundreds of thousands of dollars for an internet connection. And Spotify, oh, we've got a lot of great topics today, actually. Spotify, rumored to be ending their free music streaming. And do you want to do the last one?
I'll do one of them. Certain
Swedish
something high
helpful.
Schools are adding 3 hours of eSports classes a week. Video game high school is real.
Is this going to go? I think it worked. Oh, is this logged in as Brandon? Oh, I don't know what the password is. Oh, crap. Sorry, that thing. Sponsors today! Squarespace!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Best space.
Did you just say desk space?
Best space.
Best space. Yeah, best space. Also, ooh, that's a new one. Tunnelbear! Start browsing privately today at tunnelbear.com/LTT. Okay, now I'm going to do a thing. I'm going to put that back before we navigate away from it, and then the intro will start playing instead of having the ad spot on top of it when I switch the scene.
How much do you want to bet it's just going to break?
No, it shouldn't break. I have the intro stored locally on my machine now. Yeah, see? Also, this is the latest XSplit. So we were still running a version of XSplit that must have been like a year old on the stream computer in the old office. Just because like, and it was like kind of like broken. Like that Windows install itself is just broken.
Oh yeah.
So that machine would just shut off, and like we had our regularly occurring blue screens thanks to our Blackmagic capture cards, and like all this stuff was broken about it. So we actually, what we needed to do was uninstall and reinstall in order to get the upgrade to work, and we just never did it. So yeah, we're actually running a proper version of XSplit now.
For a long time too. Which
yes.
is kind of sad.
Which is kind of the world's most pathetic thing.
But isn't that like, okay, everyone has like that computer that probably only works because they know it's like, how to make it happy.
If you unplug the mouse and then replug it into a different port, then
it'll turn
60% of the time.
Every week you have to go in and like tell it to re-ignore the CPU fan header or whatever.
And that's the computer that, we hosted our live broadcast on. Because we're apparently freaking geniuses.
Yeah.
We never actually claimed to be geniuses. Linus Media Group makes no claims as to why we are geniuses. No. Luke, tell Linus to 3 asterisks up. We want to hear you. He ruined the last WAN show. Now, hold on a second. This is a discussion topic. What curse word is that? Tell Linus to blank up.
I wonder if it just changes all of them to 3 asterisks. Because if not, that's really weird.
Tell Linus to... Because I'm just trying to think. Okay, F word. Because the F word is a pretty versatile word.
Yep.
Doesn't work there.
Nope.
You failed.
Yep.
So we got the SH word.
Nope.
Because it's very close to shut up. So maybe, is that a new slang? Like, is that what we should we start this? It's like, you know what, son? Sorry?
It's 4 letters.
Oh, yeah, it's not even 3 letters.
Yeah.
Ass up? So I need to...
Do the rest of the wedge.
Yeah. It's kind of...
There you go. There you go. Don't fall. Good. Yeah. Well, that's kind of your crotch.
Well, this chair does spin.
There you
We
go.
do have these great metronomic chairs
Here.
for the new
Yeah.
office
Here,
here.
I'll move you more.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on, I need to get a bit higher.
So.
Whoa, it's falling!
Oh my god. Okay. All right. So we still don't know what swear word that is.
Yeah, but we are absolutely no closer.
What happens? Okay.
If
I do this.
What are we supposed to be talking about? I have let you derail the show already. That was
That
a
was
plan.
you.
That was a plan.
That was 100% you.
That was an alt account from you.
Oh. Bull.
Yeah.
No.
Bullshut. Sorry.
Oh.
Come on, that was pretty good.
That was not bad. I liked that one. Okay.
Not your bullshit.
So-
okay, go ahead.
New company Alphabet now owns Google, but it's not.
And it's super serial.
Oh wow, that was actually pretty good.
I'm on today.
I like
I
that
am
one.
on today, my friends.
So it's actually not super serious, while it might be super serial. A lot of people freaked out when they read this. Oh my god, I can't believe a company like Google could be acquired. And it's like, oh, they were acquired by themselves.
Yeah.
So this is just a new parent company that they created to help kind of sub a whole bunch of different companies, probably for tax reasons, to be completely honest.
Yeah, or for the appearances to shareholders reasons.
Yeah.
So what they've effectively done is Google is the internet stuff brand.
Yeah.
So your YouTubes and your Google Chromes and your Google Maps and your Hangouts
And search
is all going to be under that brand.
Yeah.
Whereas Alphabet is also going to run sort of other bizarro land stuff like X Labs.
Yeah.
And I actually don't even know what Calico Life Extension Project is. Do you even know what that is?
I've heard of that.
Okay, Calico Life Extension, whose mission is to harness advanced technologies to increase our understanding of the biology that controls. So basically, okay,
It's
that's
life
fairly,
extension.
life extension.
Yeah.
So fairly straightforward. You know what's really funny about the advancements that are being made in that right now? So both singularity and reversing the aging process are potentially going to happen in the next 100 to 200 years. We were that close. We were that freaking close. You and me, we're just going to grow old and die, and that's it. That's it. But our generation's kids, I know you're not planning to have
Do you have a problem
kids.
with that?
Yeah, it feels like it kind of sucks. Because, but on the other hand, I mean, there's a lot of issues with people living forever that are not easily resolvable. And I think, this is going...
just the amount of them?
Not just the amount of them.
Because that's actually a pretty big problem.
But, okay, amount of them, I actually think particularly at the beginning... The amount of people living forever will almost be a non-issue.
At the beginning, yeah.
Because it's going to be so expensive that it's going to be a whole other issue of only the rich and powerful being able to... So it's one thing if the rich and powerful can drive a
super
sweet
rich
car.
people live forever and poor people die.
Just exactly.
Oof.
If that is not
And if it's not a rat race now...
It's nowadays, if you're rich, you're freedom 55 or whatever. You retire young. No, that's a whole other thing. So now it's climb over the backs of your fellow human beings.
Are you able to make enough money so that you can not die? Instead of are you able to make enough money so that you can retire?
And then if you're not going to die, well, do you have to work forever then, I guess? Because you can bet. And I mean, this is some tinfoil hat stuff. So if you're not into tinfoil hat, peace. See you later. But can you imagine the first life extender solution being, a shot that you take once and then your life is extended forever? No.
No.
It's going to be a pill that you buy and you take every day.
Yeah.
And even if they had the
or
other
even
solution,
more hardcore than that.
there's no way that anyone is going to give you the shot in the arm that reverses the aging process of your cells. And there's going to be a whole bunch of other issues with living together.
We'll overcome.
We won't have. We'll work hard at it. Stay together for the kids.
Yeah.
With living forever, like your teeth are not going to reverse their aging process. So you're going to be like this weird, reconstructed creature in certain ways. And I'd be floored if they figure out how to reverse the aging process of everything. So your eyesight, you're going to have like this super like old man eyesight. I mean, with that said, they've got those new contacts coming.
And what happens
and you're hearing,
when they're working on stem cells and stuff? What if they can grow you a new body and you just brain transplant?
Well, that's been tackled. Like that's some crazy stuff. Like I forget what there's like some book, and I think it's a movie or something.
The dog or something.
No, the parents have like a terminally ill kid, like a degenerative disease kid, and then they have another kid that's basically like spare parts or something along those lines or whatever. Like that's some crazy next level stuff.
Yes, but I don't mean like birthing a new child and using them as spare parts, which we've seen in I think more than one movie.
Yeah, that's been done.
I'm talking about like no brain, grow a body in a lab, stem cell style.
Yeah, but that becomes a very tricky question. And like religious arguments aside, the conversation about what makes something a human is an incredibly complicated one. I thought someone just called this autism, the show. And I was like, what? What is it that we're talking about that made you say something so like that? Anyway, so sorry, back on topic. What makes something a human? Is it a body? Is it a soul? Do we have a soul? These are all questions that
we're not going to get into.
That we're not going to be able to answer because we don't actually have an answer yet. If you can transfer a consciousness, if you believe in a soul, then have you also transferred the soul? Did the soul die? Is it now an abomination? Who knows? So, would you want to live forever? I don't know.
I think it depends.
I don't know.
I feel like I would because I'm constantly interested in things. And I'd be like, ooh, technology moved on and changed.
Now, this is another really interesting way of looking at it. Is it worth it to live forever if everyone around you dies? And what if you were rich enough to keep yourself alive, but not, let's say you and your wife had to decide who can afford the like Uber treatment.
I don't know if I could claim that for myself.
So that's exactly
Knowing
okay.
how I do things, I'd probably pass it.
So then let's talk. Well then, but what if the other like? Because I mean you see all
what
these.
If the other person wants to pass it?
Right. So what if old? You know how old people will
most
often.
Epic game of rock paper scissors.
Rock paper scissors death.
You'd win. Oh my god.
So like, would you want to leave behind all your brothers and sisters?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you had kids, like get this, would you prefer to pass it down to your kids? And then if like what if there was like your family could only afford like one fortune? What if you could only keep one person alive? And remember,
insane.
No anti-aging treatment.
No, I'm not married. He was saying conceptually.
Yeah. No anti-aging treatment is gonna, prevent you from smashing your head open on a rock if you're climbing it.
Yeah.
So there's no guarantee that it's even going to work anyway. This isn't, what's that awesome movie? Death Becomes Her.
We need like Windows Server automatic nightly backup for brains.
I suspect it would happen eventually. And you just download into a new body.
There's got to be a way, like, even if you can't 100% it, if it could get extremely close.
Okay. Here's a tough one for you.
Are you the same person? No.
If they could... Okay, well, no, I know.
Yeah.
But tell me this then. If your hypothetical wife was downloaded to a server somewhere, she dies, and she gets rebooted, are you married still?
I think you would have to choose that legally before. So I think you'd have to like sign a thing being like yes or no.
This is going to be a whole new level of prenup, kids. Because when people are potentially married till death do us part, Hold on a
So
second.
you get married for like thousands of years.
So it will become cheaper to kill your spouse and reboot them than to divorce.
And reboot them. Oh my god. Oh man.
It's
you're
like,
right,
hun,
though.
this isn't working. Let's
right.
Let's suicide pact reformat our lives. Okay, do you still have your job? Right?
I guess that would have to probably be in your employment
If
agreement.
you died, would I even know? I'd be like,
show up again the
I'd be
next
like,
day.
you shaved and you're bald. Because like you don't have your hair yet, right?
Because it has to die. Oh man. It's like, why do you shave your head? I don't know, Linus. And you're like, what? Minor changes.
It's like you come in and you're like never mind. You're like a bottom guy all of a sudden.
Oh, I thought you meant that differently. I get it. Never mind. I didn't get it at first.
Okay, so one tricky thing, back on topic about the whole Google breaking itself apart into sub-companies under Alphabet is that they will still go by the stock tickers of GOOGL and GOOG, so they're still going to trade under their old name. And yeah, I guess...
There's really
What
not
else
that
is
much
there
to
really
say. I know
yeah.
I say that a lot, but like, this is really not that interesting news. And the internet exploded about it.
Yeah, their actual landing page, abc.xyz, received over 1.9 million views after the announcement. And the funny thing is alphabet.com, which Google actually doesn't own, but and wouldn't be an insignificant thing for Google to try to acquire, since BMW, sort of another global brand, owns it. It's actually their like business-oriented, like corporate customer vehicle supply, fleet management leasing thing. So BMW owns alphabet.com, and they are apparently looking into trademark implications, but don't intend to take legal action against Google. So there
unless
you go.
they probably need to in order to keep their stuff.
This was posted by Blade of Grass on the forum. Did you ever post the link in the chat?
No, I did not. I can do that now.
So go ahead and drop that in there. The next article is Tesla is burning cash. This is not exactly groundbreaking either. It costs a metric butt ton of money to develop cars. Just ask anyone who makes cars. And Tesla is basically doing it without the sales to support what they're trying to do over here. I mean,
they're losing money per car.
Yes. Not only do they only have so let's see how many Model S's, the one that matters, we can sell. They're actually losing somewhere in the neighborhood of $4,000 to about $15,000 per car, depending on how you crunch the numbers.
If you look at Elon Musk's business history, this is super not surprising. When PayPal first started, he was paying people to open accounts. He would put real money in your account when you opened one. There's a lot of sites that'll be like, you get credit on the site when you open an account.
Yeah.
No, he was putting cash money that you could
cash
spend
dollars
elsewhere that he would not get credit for when you opened an account. And it was not small. I don't remember how much it was, but it was like you could go buy something probably with the amount of money that he would put in your account. So he's buying market share.
Yep, effectively.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's still expensive, and that's kind of life, because they cost a lot of money to make. So this is great. So they've actually burned through they've $359 million in cash last quarter. Wow. And this, combined with the production target cuts for 2016, doesn't bode that well for their 500,000 car production target by 2020. So they have a mere 1.15 billion on hand, so enough to run for another 3 quarters at the rate they're going. This is down from 2.67 billion 1 year ago. So yeah, the rate at which they're burning through it is pretty consistent and not going to last them much longer. And then the article from Reuters actually estimated that a new car can cost $1 billion or more to engineer and bring to market. So that reduction in cash looks like development on, well, we know they're working on other cars. They're working on the Model X and the Model 3, excuse me. I meant to say E, excuse me, 3, but whatever. The Model 3. So Musk says there might be some value in raising capital as they move into 2016, where they are expecting to increase their spending due to the Model 3 and the Gigafactory. So, yeah, we'll see how this whole thing plays out. I mean, realistically...
Honestly, I think they're fine.
Realistically, if Tesla is straight up like, yep, we're doing another round of funding, I don't think there will be any shortage of backers to try and get in on this one.
They'll be fine.
And they will be fine, but...
They might have to do another round of funding.
I mean, it's really interesting to see why it is, then, that the incumbent automakers aren't just going head-to-head with Tesla. It's like, well, why aren't they just matching Tesla's investment into electric cars? Well, because even if you're BMW or Audi, it's a lot of money.
It is, yeah.
And unlike a fledgling company, I mean, Tesla's still a really young company. Unlike a fledgling company, an established company with established shareholders that expect to get their established benefits from being shareholders, you're going to have to sell the idea of just spending money hand over fist on an unproven, although I think we're pretty close to it being a foregone conclusion that electric cars are going to be a thing, but on an unproven market where you don't have, well, here's the last 50 years of sales and market data. The auto industry doesn't move that fast. It really doesn't. It's kind of sad. This was posted by Snow Comet on the forum. I'm going to fire up Lenovo.com, where we are going to learn about actually a pretty cool little release. You want to handle this, puppy?
I have read 0 of these topics.
Oh, that's right. You were working on the Ultimaker 2 thing today.
Filming 2 videos.
Well, okay.
And getting new internet.
You know what?
Yeah! Super stoked.
Right, you have new internet at your house now, right?
Oh, yes. Also have internet at my house. That's a pretty important part of that sentence.
Right.
Haven't had internet for a while.
Yep.
And then they were supposed to come today, and they came at one of the least opportune times.
It would have been worse if they came during WAN show.
That is true.
If you were just like, peace, I need to go get internet, I'd be like, yeah, I get it, because if I didn't have internet at my house, I would basically be living at the office same as you.
That was pretty good timing, because honestly, even if I had internet, I wasn't going to be leaving. I needed to get that print working. So, and like, I wasn't on the computer using the internet. I was working on like, my feet hurt. Because it's on a standing desk, and I was working on it for so long.
I'm looking forward to watching that review, because I have spent almost no time with the Ultimaker.
I, like, legit don't want anyone else printing off of it. People can make models, people can find whatever models they want, and then I'll do the printing part.
But there's some trickiness, there's some...
And, like, I think it was 5 or 6... I don't remember. It's 5 to 6.5 hours last night where I was just troubleshooting.
Wow.
Straight. So I learned a lot about the printer.
I heard from the Twitch chat that they basically walked you through it.
More fiendy. He helped a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, maybe that's what people were saying. So, Lenovo ushers in a new era of mobile workstation power and performance with the ThinkPad P50 and P70. So, they're not the first ones to try and build a mobile workstation. At all.
No.
Like, at all. No. But these ones are definitely the most powerful and badass looking ones that we've ever seen. So the P70 is the 17-inch model, the P50 is the 15-inch model, and the P70 is loaded up with 64 gigs of ECC DDR4 memory, can handle up to 1 terabyte of SSD storage over PCI Express, and up to 4 storage devices. It also comes with 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports. So Thunderbolt 3 is 40 gigabit per second, if I recall correctly.
5 gigabyte.
Sorry?
5 gigabyte.
Yeah, thereabouts. And is USB-C, is a USB-C connector or something along those lines. I actually haven't looked into it enough. Yeah, it's through a USB 3 Type-C connector, so, well, Okay, that's one thing that doesn't...
That,
Can you not? Thank you. That's one thing that I wish I could adjust, or maybe I can and I haven't yet, but the snapping aggressiveness in the latest versions of XSplit, it's nice to be able to move things around freely, but I wish it would snap a little bit more decisively. Yeah. So there you go. That's what the connector looks like. This is on thunderbolttechnology.net. This is great. More speed, more pixels, more power, more protocols. DisplayPort, PCIe, Thunderbolt, and USB 3 super speed. It can also deliver up to 100 watts of power and 2 4K displays.
So epic.
So that is some pretty BA technology. So it'll come with that. And what else is there to really say about it? Xeon CPU, you're going to need that for that ECC memory support. And then they also feature Quadro GPUs, but I don't see exact models, and these aren't going to be available until Q4 2015, although I have already reached out to Lenovo, and we are already confirmed to be getting a review sample.
Nice.
So we can check it out in person and let you guys know what's up. Because let's face it, there's a lot of powerful laptops out there, but there's a difference between a workstation and just any old laptop or notebook. This is a great topic of discussion. Did you know that there is a difference between a laptop and a notebook?
No.
They are not the same thing.
I didn't know that.
Yep, the amount of crap that I've gotten about this from one of our particular partners every time I say the wrong one is significant.
Is it? What's the difference?
So, the irony is that neither of them is intended to run in your lap. That was done away with a very long time ago when heat existed.
Okay.
A laptop is larger and bulkier.
Okay, I expected
but
that.
Smaller than a desktop replacement.
Okay.
Okay. A notebook is smaller, but not an ultrabook. And I was like, okay.
That's kind of what I expected. I was going to say notebook is going to have to be a smaller one, but like...
So this is kind of a notebook because of its size, but I think in terms of its power, it would be more of a laptop. And then
this is a notebook.
That's an ultrabook because
sorry, 1 second.
The definition of ultrabook is a little flexible depending on whether it is a 2-in-1, which used to be called a convertible. So this one has like a tablet mode. So yeah, there you go. If you guys didn't know that, then you learned a completely useless fact today. As Burkle is so fond of doing. Speaking of Burkle, oh man, he has outdone himself on the car painting video. That's over on Vessel right now, and it's going to be coming to YouTube sometime next week. But if you guys have a Vessel membership, a surprising number of our viewers actually don't know that Channel Super Fun is also over on Vessel. It's not just Linus Tech Tips. Tech Quickie and Channel Super Fun are both there. But this is something else, this car painting video. I think I'm about to show an ad, so I'll just put that away for now so you guys don't have to listen to that. And then I'll go ahead and... Oh, wow, there was no ad. Worst intro we have ever done. Many episodes ago. Yeah, so this is where the... Here, basically I'll give you guys a sneak peek at just exactly what is going down. That is me. That is me in my old Student Works painting shirt from my house painting days. So yes, you will witness that and many other things in the Channel Super Fun car painting episode. So that is some good stuff right there. Let's move on. Intel, this was posted by Jesper 101996. And Intel says the shortages of Broadwell and Skylake CPUs will be going away. So if you've been wondering about, where exactly you can get, a 5775C, for example, that's the Broadwell chip, or a 6700K, that's the Skylake Core i7, then supply is expected to improve soon, and we should see more of everything as Q3 progresses. So Q3 is August, September, October. No, July, August, September? Yes, that is Q3. So throughout the rest of... whatever is going on right now. All right, this is a pretty good... Oh, this was originally posted on techreport.com. I'll go ahead and pull that puppy up there. And then I don't know if I ever actually posted this in the Twitch chat. This is why this show is hard to run by myself. This is why I have trouble with it. What the devil is going on here?
So, this is apparently like a happy new office gift.
5 pizzas. They know how many. They know enough to know where we are, but they don't know enough to know how many people work here.
So there's pizzas specifically for specific people. So this is for Nick and Justin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Here, come take this.
We're apparently doing pizza distribution.
Okay, I'll read off what it is. So this is pizza 5 for Nick and Justin.
Yeah, you guys are 5. Get wrecked, bro.
It's from Ixie, Hazy Nips, and Mape. It is basically has pepperoni, bacon, jalapenos, and grilled chicken.
Oh, yes. Sweet.
This one is from the same people. Not surprising. This one is for Taryn and John. They got wrecked.
What'd they get?
I knew someone was going to get pranked, and it was Taryn and John.
Okay, so the cheese is mozzarella, and the toppings are pineapple, anchovies, oysters, and sour cream. So that's why they ordered 5 pizzas, so that some of them could be horrible.
So this one is ours. You can read that one off.
Okay, what do we got here? Pepperoni, green peppers, jalapenos, bacon, and grilled chicken with mozzarella and cheddar cheese. That is a wicked sounding pizza. The boss is straight up not sharing that one. I'm sorry to hear that you didn't get a pizza, Luke.
Oh, no. Okay. That sucks. That one's pretty rocking.
Okay, so we got, this is for Dennis and Burkle. Green peppers, red peppers, jalapenos, hot banana pepper, spicy pepperoni, and spicy Italian sausage. Burkle went home early, so I guess Dennis is going to have to eat this one all by his lonesome. And the last one. This is for Brandon and Ed. And this is pretty plain Jane. Mozzarella cheese, pepperoni, bacon, and jalapeno. So guys, get in here and claim your pizzas.
I'll send this.
Yeah, poor John and Taryn.
You guys can distribute those.
All right, so here's a pretty great topic. This was posted by Jesper101996 on the forum. The original article here is from Ars Technica. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up. Yeah, get out of here.
Go away.
The door closes itself automatically.
You want fiber internet? That'll be $383,500.
I love
What?
how ISPs seem to have this thing where it's like, oh, you want us like companies like McDonald's. If you want a McDonald's in your town, you can probably email them or something, and they'll probably come build the store if you have enough people.
Yeah,
that
if they get
would
enough
take the
requests
service.
and they do, you know, like a business case analysis and.
Can I say thanks to Nips, Mape, and Ixie?
No, you can't. I covered the mic.
Damn.
That was Ed. He says thanks. So yeah, they'll do like, you know, like a business case and proposal, and if they can find a franchise owner, right? They might have different business models for, you know, oh well,
depending
you know,
what business it is.
to basically getting a co-investor effectively, right?
Yeah.
No, and I love Ars Technica. These guys do such a great job of ripping ISPs a new one.
Yeah.
So the basic summary is this: the farmer says, okay, I would like to get your fiber network extended to my farm in Ceresco, Nebraska, which is only 4.5 miles away from Windstream, that's the name of the ISP, away from their nearest fiber facility. Actually, in the grand scheme of things, not that bad.
Really not that far.
Really not that far. I mean, we were looking at not a completely trivial distance down the road from us, and I think our build-out cost was 5 digits, not 6.
Even better, actually, the farmer was able to determine that there appeared to be a Windstream fiber line about 1/4 mile from his property, which is confirmed by a map of their fiber network. 1/4 mile from his property is not bad.
But apparently they refused to connect him to that line, citing some sort of, stating that it's some sort of reserved private Windstream only line, which if you guys know anything about the kind of data capacity of that fiber is capable of,
very unlikely.
It is basically not a thing. You don't run fiber anywhere without dark fiber, like without extra capacity.
Yeah.
And even if you only had one piece of fiber even if there was just one, which there isn't, even if there was just one, it's not like you can't split multiple signals across a single piece of fiber. That is a thing. It's just fine. There's no way they need the entire capacity of it just for themselves. So after receiving this ridiculous quote, they contacted another network provider, Northeast Telephone Company, and even though they're completely out of their service area, they quoted the farmer $41,900. So just over 10% the previous estimate to extend their fiber line.
They also offered a
his property.
$6,000 credit for any other customer that signed up using the line that the farmer was paying to install.
I mean, you know what the stupid thing is we got a quote from TELUS for this place, and they came in, even though they're like the fiber infrastructure in British Columbia, like it's TELUS.
Yeah.
Or someone leasing from TELUS. TELUS came in several times more expensive in every possible way compared to any other quote we got. Like, they were completely out to lunch. And I was like, so is the service different? And they're like, well, we can offer services like cell phone failover. And I'm like, right. But unless I'm buying like a thousands of dollars a month cell phone plan, couldn't I just buy that? Couldn't I just get like a 4G hotspot stupid thing and put it in my server room? Like if that's my plan, if that's my backup internet plan, or if I wasn't a complete idiot, couldn't I just get like a residential line from you or Shaw or something and run that into the building as well?
Yeah, even better, a different brand.
It's like $80 a month for like something that's good enough to keep the office operational in the extremely unlikely event that the fiber connection's unavailable. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You guys are ridiculous. So it's unclear why Windstream's fee was so much higher, but they confirmed it when contacted by Ars Technica, stating that the total quote was for 36 months of dedicated internet service. And they, when pressed for further information as to how exactly they calculated that, did not respond about the private line a quarter mile from the property.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you know what? Why don't I do that? And why don't you run off and get some plates?
Okay.
Because I'm hungry. Are you hungry?
I'm pretty hungry.
Let's eat some food. So, it is sponsor time. Speaking of the internet, one of our sponsors today is actually a new one. Tunnelbear.com, and you're going to want to go over to tunnelbear.com/LTT if you want to start browsing privately. And I was about to say, this is going to tie really well into one of our topics later on in the show. The whole, Windows 10 and, not a whole lot of privacy with Windows 10 thing, but actually this wouldn't help you with anything that's directly installed on your computer that's sending your information to someone else. But anyone trying to spy on what you're doing externally, this does throw another obstacle in the way. So it's an easy-to-use privacy app for mobile and desktop. You can tunnel through 14 different countries, allowing you to browse the internet as though you're in that country. This is great for services that aren't available in your country, for example. It secures your internet when you're on public Wi-Fi. Great when traveling or at a conference or just at a restaurant or whatever else the case may be. And once you turn Tunnelbear on, your internet connection is fully encrypted. You don't have to be technical to use or install Tunnelbear, and they have friendly support bears that are standing by 24 hours a day. They have 5 million users, and you can try it out for free. You can get 500 megabytes of data for free every month and an extra gig if you tweet at them. If you need more data, prices for unlimited plans start at $6.99 a month. Very reasonable. Download it today to browse the internet privately. Tunnelbear.com/LTT. And we'd love to hear from you guys if you have experience with Tunnelbear, because they are a new sponsor for us. So always great to hear from you guys if you think we've picked a good thing to talk about. Although our next sponsor is one that we don't really have any ambiguity about, because we know Squarespace totally kicks butt.
Build it beautiful, Linus.
Why do you hate me?
Build it beautiful.
So, if I have to explain Squarespace, you could be a new viewer, but based on that, we are only halfway through the show, and we have 9,900 viewers right now. It must be the orange background. Because
it does look a lot better. It looks way more professional.
Even with Harry Potter co-hosting the show with me last week, I got over 10,000 viewers. And I was like, What? I don't even have a co-host. I thought that was the whole point of the show. So Squarespace, you are probably new if you don't know what they are, but it's the easy, professional-looking, and high-performance way to build your own freaking awesome website. It'll work on mobile or desktop. They've got lots of great templates. No coding skill is required, and they have 24/7 tech support via live chat. It starts at $8 a month, and if you get the first 12 months outright, then you actually get a domain name for free. Not a premium domain name. Like, you can't just be like, well, yeah, I want to buy alphabet.com from BMW. So at Squarespace, if I pay you guys like $100 for your service for a year, can you bid on that? No. It would have to be an available domain name. And yeah, pretty much trusted by millions of people and some of the most respected brands in the world, including Linus Media Group.
And he said you don't need to know coding, but if you want to do some HTML injection stuff into their templates, that is an option. So you can tweak things, definitely, for sure.
So Squarespace.com. Whoa, I got an jalapeno. Can you do the offer code?
I think it's
I need water.
Squarespace.com, offer code Linus to get 10% off your first purchase. Squarespace, build it beautiful. So yes, Squarespace.com, offer code Linus, 10% off your first purchase. Done, done, done. That's it for Squarespace. Thank you, Squarespace, for continuing to sponsor the WAN show, because that was hilarious, and I'm happy that that just happened. Now, if I can actually get my laptop to work and open up the dock, we'll talk about a new thing. The only problem with me talking about a new thing is that I was 3D printing all freaking day with the Twitch chat over at twitch.tv/Luke_LAFR, which was, I think, the longest stream we've ever done. Have you talked about Intel Skylake Broadwell CPU shortages?
Yep.
You skipped. Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
I did do that.
Okay. Spotify ending free music.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, jeez. Due to pressure from, like, a bunch of companies? That doesn't seem like them.
Original article here is from SoMuchHate.com, but basically they have no choice.
I thought it was Shake My Head.
Oh, is it that?
I don't know.
I actually don't know.
Okay.
The Sydney Morning Herald. I was just kind of having fun with it.
So much hair. We're both completely wrong. Oh, God. Oh, also, I want to say, Taryn did eat one slice of that pizza.
Did he?
Yeah.
John apparently likes it.
What?
Yeah, the anchovy oyster pizza.
God, that's so weird. Anyway, sorry. Shortages ending soon.
So, yeah, basically
Nope.
they're getting
Talking about
pressured
Spotify.
by
Universal,
Universal.
Warner, and Sony.
who are basically yet to renew their licenses to Spotify to host music for their artists. So this is like serious business. Spotify can either go premium only and compete head-to-head with all the other services that are... I mean, this has got to be a collusion lawsuit waiting to happen. Like, just stifling competition. But the problem is that it'll take 10 or 20 years to actually resolve it. And by that time, you know, streaming might even be irrelevant. Maybe there's a dot that you, like, stick up your nose that contains all the music ever made, and you just
really
run a
want
wire
them to
from your
solve
nose to your ear. So,
Is it called the Babelfish? In Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
I actually have never seen or read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
That makes me sad. Anyways, you put like a little fish in your ear, because Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and it translates everything that you hear.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe not a fish, but if science could solve that problem for me, that would be great.
Yeah, like a magic booger.
Sure.
So there you go. Sucky, there is no official statement from Spotify yet, but yeah, there's really not too much else to say. This is like the super uninterestingest rumor ever, because I think a lot of people were really confused
Due to the model name?
due to the model names about what this meant, but so a lot of the headlines that I looked at and a lot of forum discussion was that GTX 990M for notebooks may be based on the desktop GTX 980, which to me is the least interesting thing ever. Nvidia does this every time.
The confusing thing is that they're sticklers about model names when it comes to desktop and mobile, which is why they skipped 300 series, but then they don't care about the rest of the numbers.
No.
What?
And it's not the first time they've done this. 990M being based on the 980 desktop is not significant at all. 980M is already based on the 980 desktop. So we might get a little bit more power or something. The interesting stuff about this, though, is that Nvidia is not launching an MXM module card this time. That's the current word on the street. And they are apparently going to be letting the laptop designers really build their cooling solution and their laptop and power delivery around how much of the chip they want to unlock.
Interesting.
So
wow.
the way it's always worked in the past is that a laptop with a part X performs Y. 990M notebooks could be all over the place. And I mean, this has already been happening to a much lesser extent with GPU boost, with throttling and boosting. But this could be a completely different level. Speaking of GPU boosting, we actually have filmed, right? The video where we took 6 Titan X's and compared their boost levels to find out how much performance variance there is. So stay tuned for that, guys.
It's filmed like back in the kitchen.
Yeah,
like it's we kind of
forgot about it
apparently. So I don't know. I made it and then I was like, oh, I'm excited to see when that comes on YouTube so I can see the comments on it. And then I was like, why is it taking so long?
Yes.
Apparently it was forgotten.
Because literally no one has looked at it at all since you filmed it.
Nope.
So that's great. This is This is an original article from Engadget, originally posted by Artie. By the way, the last one was Ming. The FBI says retweeting terrorist organizations could get you investigated and or even arrested.
Basically, you could get wrecked.
So you probably shouldn't. I mean, you shouldn't need the FBI to tell you this.
Honestly, yeah. That's one thing that I thought about when I read this. Like, I saw some comments, I don't know what site it was on, of people talking about this. And, oh, I can't believe that they would think this, all this kind of stuff. It's like, why? Why are you doing that?
What kind of tool shed is retweeting ISIS propaganda?
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Like, I don't blame them at all. I don't even know why they're telling us. They should have just probably been doing
This
it.
isn't even the FBI being all like, yo, we're going to monitor your, NSA chip inside your brain to... No! You posted it on social media.
Yeah.
That's a public thing.
Like, this is very, very public.
It's like
This
walking.
is exactly the kind of stuff that they should be taking advantage of.
It's like parading around in front of the White House with like an I support ISIS shirt on. You don't think someone's gonna ask what the crap you're doing? So there you go. I mean, basically, what the FBI said is that Twitter has proved to be an invaluable source of evidence against supporters of terrorism. An account that's constantly retweeting content could be a sign of criminal activity. With that said, context still matters. So
if it's like an awareness, like these are bad accounts, or maybe this is what they're doing, make sure you know kind of style thing, I'm sure it's fine. But if you're like a rah kind of account, then it's probably, are you okay?
I bit my tongue. Ow.
Oh, that sucks. You know what really sucks
That's
is when you bite
later.
your like cheek or your tongue, and then you go to like check it and then bite the other thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so don't do that.
And when it swells and you start biting it all the time.
Yeah. And you just get this like flab of cheek skin.
Swelling unexpectedly is a big problem for me.
Is it?
I'm always swelling up.
I swell very expectedly.
Consistently?
Which is always during the WAN show.
An example of a tweet that got someone arrested was 17-year-old Ali Shukri Amin, that's twice there, who used Twitter to promote Bitcoin donations to ISIS. So, go to jail.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
I don't.
Bye-bye.
Again, I don't understand why they even bothered to tell us, because they should have just been doing this. This seems extremely expected. A lot of the news this week is like, yup, someone made a parent company for themselves. Elon Musk's business models make it so that they bleed money at the beginning, and you probably shouldn't be friends with terrorists.
All right, so this is just a really quick one. The original article here is PCGamer.com. Microsoft plans to support gaming on Windows by supporting Steam on Windows 10 or something. Games for Windows was a prior approach where it was more, at the time, like, how do we take things? We knew we wanted to help make great multiplayer. We knew we wanted to bring things over, but it wasn't the right approach. It was the approach of, let's just take things and transplant them. You know, something. And is Microsoft planning to use the Windows user base to challenge Steam? No! We're not intending to compete with Steam. If anything, we want them to be more successful. They've done great things for PC gamers.
So Microsoft is going to support Steam by doing nothing.
So
they're going to support Steam by not directly inhibiting Steam's progress.
Yeah, so that's cool, I guess. DirectX 12 will apparently not. Oh, that was posted by ZMule on the forum, by the way, and the previous one was Artie. This is by HK05, and the original article here is PCRonline.biz. And our headline topic of Mantle being dead is apparently not factual. So AMD's gaming scientist Richard Huddy, what is with these titles? Like Min Lang Tan, nice guy, gave me this laptop, calls himself chief gamer. Gaming scientist, like it's like what? Did everyone at AMD play Portal? And so it's like, yes, we need to do more science. Also, we need to sell things to gamers. What about gaming and science together? And then there's the Logitech's whole like standing there going, well, actually, hold on a second. Our tagline is like science wins. So can you just not? Actually. So Mantle was intended to solve a problem that game devs cared about. They can use it for the same task in the future, although no one is gonna develop for an API that is anyway. DirectX 12 means Mantle has achieved its aim. Well, although, I mean, DirectX 12 was in development
gonna happen anyway.
Way before
Yeah.
anyone even knew that Mantle was a thing. Mantle will be used to solve different problems in the future. No, Mantle has been absorbed by Kronos, and any useful tidbits of it have been borrowed by DirectX 12, and that's it. I really don't know why. Like, okay, to be clear, I see what he's saying. Like, Mantle will live on, like, in the DNA of other technologies. The concept of Mantle, the goals of Mantle will live on. But it's possible that Battlefield 4 is the only game, or whatever, Thief, I guess. Oh, Battlefield, like the games that are out now are possibly the only games that will ever exist where you change your rendering engine to Mantle.
And then even then, it didn't really do anything.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite part of the whole thing.
At least it wasn't worse. They didn't make it worse.
Mantle! At least it wasn't worse.
They didn't hurt people for using it, which is good.
All right, this is cool. News.sky.com.
We're lagging like crazy.
Sorry?
We're lagging like crazy. I know we're not dropping frames, but everyone's freaking out.
Oh, okay. Well,
Just
nothing we can do about that.
That's all. Yeah.
Sky News says the UK to test wireless charging for electric cars. So check that out. This right here is an electric recharging lane. So as you drive, your car would recharge. That is some seriously awesome use of taxpayer dollars. If Canada decided to do stuff like that, and you wouldn't have to do it everywhere. Because the plan in the UK is also to put charging stations, I think every 20 miles or something stupid like that. Like, just awesome. But the idea is that if you put that on the main thoroughfares, like imagine if you have that where people get stuck in traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to be stuck in traffic and your battery's going to be draining, you got your air conditioning on or whatever, hey, it's all good. I'm not going to get stuck here.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're just going on, a trip off the main drag where you've got the charging lanes, then that's fine. That's predictable. I love this. This is like the coolest thing ever, pretty much.
That's super cool.
What is there to really say about it? British government is committed £500 million over the next 5 years to keep Britain at the forefront of this technology. And the trials are expected to last for approximately 18 months, and subject to the results could be followed by road trials.
This makes a lot more sense than like solar roadways.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, because that was a whole load of crap.
Yeah, it was kind of funny how the internet exploded. Like, I could almost see, like, some kind of like heated roadways versus electric like solar panel roadways. Like there's 1,000 other ways to tackle that wouldn't involve completely tearing up every single road.
Yeah. One tip for the live viewers, by the way, apparently refreshing the stream helps a lot. Anyways, keep on.
So it doesn't seem to be us. All right.
HTC stock value is tanking. Apparently it's less than their cash holdings, which renders them more or less worth nothing. Which is not great.
And the sad thing about that is that
we really need Vive to come out.
No. Well, that too.
We do.
Yeah, Vive looks badass.
Yeah.
So get this, HTC trading below their cash value leaves the brand with no value. Not just the brand with no value, okay? This leaves their buildings that they own with no value. So basically the consensus is that their liabilities, things like that, I think something like 30% of their assets are inventory. 30% of the asset value comes from inventory and accounts receivable. So they're saying that their liabilities more than compensate for buildings that they own. And that the HTC brand itself, that HTC logo, is effectively worth nothing. Wow. So to be clear, this is not something that happened overnight. They had 27.9 billion in cash in 2011 and now have just over 1.45 billion.
Okay.
And you got to look at it and go, you know, if Tesla can make a car for $1 billion,
what have you been doing?
What did HTC do with it?
That's only 4 years.
They have no long-term debt. I mean, that makes sense because they had 28 billion in the bank. Why would they be taking out loans? But they haven't managed to be profitable, and basically the word on the general consensus among industry analysts is that they won't be able to get profitable, and yeah, they have little chance to compete with future iPhone and Samsung devices due to their limited resources.
That, to be completely honest. I really don't see people diving on HTC phones much lately.
The one M9 is kind of not great. I mean, I think my review of it, I did review it, so I've already said what I have to say about it, but it's like kind of not very great.
Yeah. And we're going like even more than before. We're going down to just a few brands on mobile that really matter.
Yep, and I mean the fact that Samsung woke up and stopped completely crapping itself. The S6 and the S6 Edge are excellent phones. There seems to be a fair bit of hype about Note 5. I actually haven't really, I haven't watched the event or anything like that, because I tend to just kind of take a, when I get a phone, then I'll deal with it approach to mobile devices. But
and I don't blame you for that.
Yeah, it looks like a fair bit of hype right now. Oh, that was posted on the forum by Mr. Straightface. Japan is apparently turning back on their nuclear reactors. This is, well, they were turned off in response to a meltdown back in 2011. So the Fukushima meltdown basically shut down all the nation's nuclear power plants, and then they switched the first one back on as of, looks like about 3 days ago. So there is a higher tsunami wall and a lot of new security measures. The new regulations are incomparably stricter than the past.
Good.
And this is likely in response to the energy prices in Japan skyrocketing by 30% in the last 4 years. I mean, the cold hard truth is that nuclear power, for all of its risks, like it's such a catch-22, right? Because
it's like driving though. Because when people are like, oh, they shouldn't increase speed limits because they're more dangerous. It's like, well, we also shouldn't drive 30 everywhere.
And the issue...
Sometimes you need to take some risks.
And, I mean, that's easy for us to say, like, way over here in Canada, where we're just powered by falling water, which is about as dangerous to people who aren't sitting under the dam as, like... I mean, it's less dangerous than solar power, because the sun is, like, cancer and whatnot.
No.
Well, it's more
That's
than
not
water.
True. No, because a dam burst can be dangerous.
Right, but we're not under it. So the dam is hundreds and hundreds of kilometers away. What do we care?
Yeah, but solar power isn't going to hurt you.
But the sun
yeah,
has
but you
to
can't
be...
just get rid of the sun if you don't want solar power. It's going to be there anyways. The
So-
sun isn't there because of solar power.
Okay, my point is that hydropower
BC
is...
Hydro didn't install the sun.
My point is that hydropower is safe for the people who aren't near the dam, okay?
Yeah.
But it's like this catch-22 because the denser your population, the more optimal nuclear power looks.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to burn all this coal. You don't have
solar power fields.
hectares and hectares of windmills and crap like that, wind power. So, but the denser your population, well, the higher risk nuclear power is. The more people have to be near a nuclear
And
power
we're
plant.
We're working on stuff like.
We are personally.
Yes.
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 That's what this new headquarters building is for.
Yes.
It's for the
We're
Linus
working
Media
on
Group.
developing tidal power in a building away from the ocean. With no water facilities.
We could be closer to
Other
the ocean
than
than you think.
2 washrooms.
We're working on technology that will actually have the ocean here.
Yeah. Sick. Anyways, yeah, tidal power, geothermal is being revolutionized constantly. Solar, getting solar more ubiquitous, like getting every building with solar on top of it, will make it a lot more effective.
Yep, big difference.
There's every year solar, like how well the solar power panels, the cells actually perform, massively increases. Storage solutions for them get way better, like the Tesla wall power thing.
We have 11,000 viewers. That's a new all-time high.
Yeah!
Woo! Pizza party!
That gets way better. Everything gets way better in terms of solar every year. Geothermal's moving up too. Tidal power still has a ton of development going on. It's still a little cray, but they've got a lot of development going on. Like, alternatives are coming, but nuclear is strong and here now. And you can say whatever you want about it. They should maybe be using thorium reactors or whatever. But
Not only is nuclear here now, they actually have the plants now today.
they just turn them back on with more safety measures, which should definitely be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, the ESL. This was posted by XYRZ Best. The ESL announces details of their anti-doping policy. So there's actually a bunch of different sources for this one. We're going to pull up the Polygon one just because polygons are cool and they're shapes, and so I like shapes. So you want to go ahead and run
pizza's a shape.
through what's going on here?
I also haven't read this one.
Okay, well then fine.
I'll jump in very
So they adopt the World Anti-Doping Agency's prohibited substance. And
We're back?
we're back.
Yeah.
Okay. Woo!
Woo! Pizza stream.
Yeah, we're
Taking down the XSplit.
okay. So yeah, we had so many viewers that
That's
like
the local application crashed.
yeah. So the
Doesn't work that way.
right. Here's where I was leaving off. So you can make all kinds of arguments for marijuana not being a performance-enhancing substance. I mean,
Although I do know people that
Remember
play
the-
better when playing video games while they're maybe possibly under the influence of the marijuana.
Seriously?
Yes. But that is a different problem, and that's because they play more often when they're under the influence.
Right.
So it's a regularization.
so it's
thing.
no secret that playing under your ideal conditions where you've practiced is a good idea.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, that whole thing with Ross Rebegliati, was that in like 2004?
I think it's...
Wow, I'm old. So a Canadian snowboarder who did he end up getting
remember
it
this,
given
but,
back?
like-
But he had his gold medal stripped because of THC, and we're kind of
He's a
sitting here going like,
snowboarder.
snowboarding culture, particularly in the
Canadian
earlier days.
In the earlier days.
You throw a rock in a room of Canadian snowboarders and you're going to hit someone who's smoked a little bit of grass in their day. And then there was the whole thing with Michael Phelps where he wasn't even tested positive.
Yeah.
He had a
a picture
doobie
or
in his hand at a party once, and someone like shared that picture.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's good they're doing something. This is all in response to, if you didn't catch it, we talked about this on WAN Show before, but Corey Semphis Friesen's admission last month that the professional Counter-Strike Global Offensive player used Adderall during the ESL1 Katowice event in March. And the quote was,
Which they knew about.
"We were all on Adderall. I don't even give an F. It was pretty obvious if you listen to the comms. People can hate it or whatever." So testing positive could result in a range of punishments from reduced prize money and tournament points to disqualification and a maximum 2-year ban from ESL
There you go.
events.
That's actually scary.
Which
Reduced
is-
prize money, like, they're going to want to win. And if they take Adderall and do better and have reduced prize money, they'll just probably win more money anyway.
But a 2-year suspension in
That's
pro
a big
gaming is
deal.
basically a lifelong suspension.
Yeah.
The careers are phenomenally short. You have a very narrow window where you have to be really successful and then maybe you get a coaching job after. Because, like, you're still way better than humans, but you're not good enough.
Yeah.
So, you know, the funny thing about this, to me, is that substance abuse, okay, and this, something like Adderall might not even be abuse. This is just testing positive for it, period. That's a prescription medication, potentially. I mean,
I'm sure if you have a prescription for it.
not necessarily. No, there's lots of stuff like that. Like legitimate prescriptions at NBA or whatever, like they test positive for it, boom, no, done, suspension.
Interesting.
And the thing about this is, like, where do we draw the line? Is the line where you're competing for money? Because, okay, should I suspend Luke if I find out that he's been popping Ritalin before he comes into work so he can focus better?
This isn't a competition.
But isn't it? Isn't the workplace competitive? Are you not competing for promotions? For recognition from your boss or your peers?
Which I
for...
never get anymore.
Oh, shut up and go back in your Harry Potter closet. But think about that for a second. Where do we draw the line now? You can't play video games. And I realize that I have made exactly the opposite argument previously on the show. This is as much a devil's advocate thing as anything else.
That's what this whole show
But
is.
where do we draw the line?
Right.
Are you not allowed to take Adderall? Like, should we just ban the drug outright? No, it makes people perform better. It's not fair.
And honestly, a lot of people that I know that are really good at video games, whether or not it's true because there's some hubbub about that, but ADD or ADHD. A lot of people that I know that are really good at video games. So, like, you're going to be excluding a lot of people that would be prescribed for these drugs. And looking at the States, isn't it, what's prescription rates in the States for Adderall and Ritalin?
I don't
just
remember, but
absurd?
it's something obscene, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about ADHD is that, and I feel like I can talk about this fairly critically because I
You haven't
was
figured that out.
an ADHD kid. I was on Ritalin, very legitimately, by the way, I might add. But what is a legitimate prescription for Ritalin? Because you see a lot of kids getting Ritalin subscriptions. Ritalin prescriptions. Yeah, it's like...
Sign up for it.
Hold on, Dollar Shave Club isn't a sponsor. Yeah, Dollar Ritalin Club. We send you Ritalin once a month for a low monthly fee.
You know what? If you had a prescription of that stuff and there was a service like Dollar Ritalin Club, I'd be down with that.
I would be down to
It's
get
a
my
good business model. They know what they're doing.
I would be down to get my prescriptions delivered online if I didn't think that every company selling prescription medications online was only interested in selling me fake Viagra.
Yeah.
So hold on. Right, so back to that. So the thing, the symptoms that get someone a Ritalin prescription, and I talk about Ritalin because that was the drug back in my day when I was on it. I think it's Adderall now, but whatever.
Adderall, Concerta.
The thing that gets you a Ritalin prescription is being hyper.
Which
So
doesn't have to be a bad thing.
So show me a red-blooded 8-year-old that isn't a little hyper. And you know what? The reality of it is my childhood was pretty complicated. And if I wasn't acting out, if I wasn't a little off the wall, then there was probably something even more wrong with me. So is a Ritalin prescription the answer, or should we be finding the underlying issue a lot of the time? ADHD gets used as a catch-all diagnosis. It's kind of like...
and sometimes it will be real, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it does get used as a catch-all a lot.
And the thing that people have to understand too is that ADHD is a spectrum. It's like autism. You're not like 100% autistic or 0% autistic. Just like you're not 100% ADHD, like all over the place, I have to do 1,000 things right now, or you just sit like a lump like this. It's a spectrum. So where is the line drawn? It's very complicated. And you look at something like autism, where I believe Asperger's, which was kind of like mild autism spectrum, has actually been removed as an official diagnosis by, at least I think my mom was telling me there was some organization that has eliminated as a diagnosable condition. Because basically, the symptom was being kind of like socially awkward and like, so who isn't? Like, who isn't a little hyper? Who isn't a little socially awkward? So it became sort of like, where's the line?
If I'm not prepared for someone to recognize me or notice me, I'm the weirdest person ever. If I'm like totally not thinking about that possibility at all, and someone's like, "Hi," I'm always just like, "Hey."
I've been really rude to people by accident. Just because I was like completely taken off guard. And they were like, "Hey, Linus," and I've gotten more used to it now. I'm just like, "Hey." The really awkward one for me, though, sorry, I'm totally going off on a tangent, is I'm pretty bad with names and faces. So it's when people are like, "Hey, Linus," and I'm like, "Hey," and I just think they're a fan or whatever, but it's actually someone I know.
That sounds like me.
That's super
Apparently there's
awkward.
2 minutes left on the print.
Oh wow, really?
That's fun.
I wish that power supply was working.
No.
I'm gonna play around with it a little bit after the show and see if I can figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
This is a pretty exciting topic, though. This is from gosugamers.net, and this is going to be a definite opinion piece right here, or piece of opinion, or I don't know what you want to call this, but we are straw polling the crap out of this one. Esports in skill. I think I gotta give more than the usual options. So yes, gaming. So hold on, like practical gaming, theory, and like I don't know. Okay. Yes, just theory. Yes, just practical gaming. So do you want to talk about this a little bit while I...
Okay, yeah. I don't think there's a ton to say. Basically, a few schools in Sweden, not like certain schools, not all of them, will be putting about 3 hours of esports class a week. So remembering how they do high school, I don't know if they do it this way in Sweden. You have blocks, so you might have like an hour-long block 3 times in 1 week. So like Monday, Wednesday, Friday or something. I'm assuming that's how it's going to work. Pupils will be able to practice and learn games such as Dota 2 and Counter-Strike, just to name a few. None are supporting full-blown esports programs yet, but certain alignments can take classes in Dota, Counter-Strike, and esports in general.
It's really funny that they're called alignments.
Yeah.
It's like if you're a passive alignment, then you can take esports class, but no woodworking for you.
That sounds a lot like video game high school, where it was like, are you an RPG player? And like that's what class system you were in. So you could go with like racing, and then you took all the racing classes. That's what you were. You were a racing student. You didn't do the RPG stuff. You might in your own free time after class, but in class you're a racing student.
So...
they're treated as normal athletic subjects, access to rooms and areas designated for practice. School teams will be formed with the goal of competing at events. They're planning on bringing in players and personalities for guest lectures, which probably wouldn't be that hard to find in Sweden.
Yeah,
to be completely honest.
Kind of a big deal there.
They're really good at those things. At one school, students studying events will also get to host a large tournament as their third-year final project. That's pretty interesting. Yeah. The school system must get better in general in educating people about the contemporary society, and this is good evidence of that very fact. I think it's interesting that it's...
So that was a quote. That's from Ibrahim Khalifa, Chairman of Education and Employment in Sigtuna County, Stockholm. And that's a good point, isn't it? We've got nobody voting on the straw poll. Oh, balls. I think I posted it in the wrong chat. I think I've had the wrong chat.
Here's another pretty
open.
cool quote. There have been some frowning noses and some wondering why they get to play computer games during school hours, but we aim to kill the myth that it has to be a bad thing. Furthermore, it is about showing respect to this group of peoples. Now, there's some interesting things. Kids that aren't going to want to engage or straight up won't engage, at least positively, in gym class, like, you can't expect every kid that goes to gym class to get on an NFL team.
Yeah.
And like we've all known that, but one of the reasons why people do it is because of team building exercises, physical fitness, all this other kind of stuff. Well, eSports classes could work very much in the team building exercises way. It could help these kids get in different social circles. If you're someone who's not necessarily going to do great in gym class, maybe this could be one of your avenues to build a team and make friends that way. Or honestly, a lot of the really good players that I know are really physically fit, so maybe it's just another avenue. It can be very mentally stimulating, especially some of these hard games. You're very engaged the whole time. I don't think it's a terrible thing. I don't know about 3 hours a week.
Yeah, I'm really
in high school you get to pick your courses, right? So
I'm really not sure how I would feel about my son, coming home and being like, yeah, I enrolled in gaming level 2.
Well, in high school, you'd probably be a part of that conversation.
Yeah, or like, okay, fine. Like, here's my suggested course load that I'm taking. I'm going to take chemistry, Dota, and mathematics.
If he had a spare.
I mean, the thing for me is that
honestly, I had a few spares because my school just didn't have anything better to offer me.
So here's my problem. If you're gonna be like I have no problem with a school Dota team. That I don't object to.
But you want it to be extracurricular?
I think it should be extracurricular. I don't think it needs to be during class time. And the reason that PE...
I think they should encourage school teams.
Yes. No problem with that at all. I think that's great. I think being part of a school team and being part of your school's culture is really important and cool. But the reason that PE gets a pass for me, because PE was something that I stopped taking immediately when I didn't have to anymore. Not because I couldn't do it or whatever. It was
I did
just,
too, to be honest.
I just thought it was a waste of my time.
Yeah.
I have to be in school during this time. Like when I was in high school, I was one of those kids that didn't take a free block. I took no free block. I took no PE. I took all my sciences, even though you only had to take, I think, one or something to graduate. Yeah. One grade 12 level science, or did you even need any 12 level?
You didn't need a grade 12 level science.
So I did all my grade 12 level sciences.
I think you needed 10 or 11 or something.
And stuff like that, because I'm in school to learn, and video games are not learning, and quite frankly, throwing a basketball at a hoop is not learning either, unless you're serious about it, in which case you're on the team and you're attending practices before or after school, and it's a serious part of your life. Like it's secondary. School is learning, and PE, the reason that I give it a pass for existing at all is that the rationale behind it, whether it works or not, is very much an open discussion, and not one that I'm going to get into now. But the rationale behind it is that it's about getting into the habit of doing some exercise daily, which is a good lifelong habit to have. And getting kids used to that idea, especially, I mean, I don't know what the culture's like.
After going to university, that doesn't work.
So I don't know what the culture's like in Sweden, but here, even for very little kids, PE might be the only exercise these kids are getting on a given day, and having it exist at all, if that does anything, if it does nothing else, it reduces the barrier to entry for learning a sport. And I'll explain what that means. Like badminton, I think one of the big things holding it back, I love badminton, I play badminton all the time. One of the big things holding badminton back, it is damn near impossible to pick it up. Because where do you play? Well, it's kind of fragmented. There's like badminton centers, but the only way to play there is to either go play drop-in with like all these people of varied skill levels, most of which show up with a clique of friends to play drop-in together, so there's almost no one to play with. If you're not very good, no one's going to want to play with you. People will actively avoid you, okay? So the alternative is you can go try and find like the rogue groups, the
Leave it alone, Ukrainians!
Someone's touching his 3D print apparently. So there'll be like small private leagues or like private facilities or whatever, so you can play at those. Again, no one's gonna want to play with you if you suck, which leaves nothing. You can like hit to yourself in your backyard, which is sort of horrible. So unless you're any good, it's not like bowling where you can just go practice by yourself. It's going to be hard to become part of that social experience of playing with people and learning and all that kind of stuff. So I think that PE class builds skills that make it even possible to go and engage. I mean, can you imagine if you show up at the local basketball court, just at the park or whatever, and you totally suck? No one's going to want you to play. You'd be always last to be picked, and in some cases never picked at all. So you just lean up on the wall or sit up in the bleachers with the rest of the... Sorry. Yeah.
That was awesome. I'm so happy I came back for that.
So that, to me, is the justification for PE, because you are legitimately learning how to engage in these activities. And PE will cover things like how to throw a ball. Because it's one thing if you show up for like a beer league baseball team and you can throw a ball and like swing a bat, but you're kind of not very good, versus if you show up and you like throw something like this. People are just gonna be like, oh my God, no one's gonna want to play with you. So there you go. And I don't think that esports has that issue. I think it's easy to practice on your own, at home, outside of school hours. And it's also, let's be honest with ourselves, it's very much pure enjoyment for the vast majority of people who are doing it. The only people who are really working at it are the competitive people. So what's the benefit for the people who aren't competitive? Is this a system that is going to be put in place and simply abused? I don't know. I can also see, like, if it was a purely theory-based, and no one agrees with me, 5% said yes, just theory. Like if it was a purely theory-based thing, like you're looking at, how leagues work, you're looking at the history of gaming, you're looking at, like if we were going to tackle esports more from like just a purely educational perspective, then great. But I don't, here's another thing. 3 hours a week is nothing for gaming. Like if you're like, yeah, I'm going to get great at StarCraft 2, I'm going to practice for 3 hours. Like what, you've done your tutorial campaign in the first week of classes? Like that's really silly.
Yeah. Like
gaming is not designed for learning it in 3 hours a week. It's designed to have people sit down and do it repetitively until they master it, which is again one of the criticisms of PE, of gym class, is that you're never going to get great at football by doing your 1 week football unit.
When I was playing football, it was 4 practices a week and a game. So like, yeah, and like we were pretty good, but 4 practices a week at like I think an hour and a half each, and a game. That's a lot.
So I personally don't think people should be playing video games in class. I don't think it makes a ton of sense objectively. So there you go. What else do we got here? Oh, this is original article here is Kotaku, and this is by Ramamnataz, posted on the forum. Nintendo fired an employee for speaking out on a podcast. A lot of debate about this, but the reality of it is, whether it was heartless or not, it's extraordinarily likely, especially given the secretive culture at Nintendo, that this was in his employee agreement, that he was not to talk publicly about company projects, and he gave a lot of opinions, not all of them positive, about policies and yeah, basically last week he went on the podcast, said some things he shouldn't have. This week Nintendo fired him. I hope that we never get corporate enough around here to have something like that happen. I've seen a lot of people saying, well, he should have been given a warning first or whatever else, but you know what?
He was pretty brutal.
This was the warning. But the warning was for everyone else.
Yeah.
And if you are going, and you see, the thing to understand too about Nintendo is that they have a culture that's very secretive. Nothing leaks from Nintendo. Why? Because when it happens, they make an example out of them. And if people get a warning, if one person gets one warning, everyone's going to feel like they have a freebie too. So I get it. Super sucky, and his Facebook comment is absolutely heartbreaking. You know, like, I look around my house, I see images of my son, and I feel intense shame and crippling sadness. I know that if I can't find a job at least as good as this one, I won't be able to provide for my family. I've lost them their health coverage and their security. I also know that I've probably lost a good deal of my friends just because I know how hard it can be to stay in touch with someone when the convenience of proximity is lost. I'm so sorry to everyone. I failed you. You believed in me and supported me and trusted me. And I failed you. I failed me. And that is some powerful stuff right there. And super, super sucky. But the thing that so let this be. Let it not be for nothing. Let this be a warning to you. Read your employee agreement carefully. Don't talk about private stuff to anyone who is not internal and authorized, because that is some sucky stuff right there. One more topic?
They're all screwing with the printer, so I'm a little pissed off. But we can do one more topic if you like.
Okay.
This is so annoying, because if they screw anything up, now I'm just going to have to spend hours fixing it. But they think it's funny, so that's okay.
Steam Boy or Smach Zero is a portable handheld Steam machine.
Yes.
So it's going to be powered by 4 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of internal storage, a 720p touchscreen, and an HDMI output. It will carry an AMD embedded G-Series SoC with a Jaguar-based CPU and GCN-based Radeon graphics. Basically, I think this thing is probably a boatload of fail at $300. But there's naturally going to be tons of games in your library that won't be compatible with Smach Zero on Steam. Duh.
Yeah.
But it will, according to the promotional video, play 1,000 plus games.
There's so many of those going to be trash.
Yeah.
So many of those are going to be trash.
Yeah, it's not about the volume of games at all.
No.
So, on that note, thank you guys for watching. We will see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yay.
It's funny, they always ask if we're going to be on time this week, but at the end of every show, I say same bat time.
So no?
Oh, it didn't work.
I told you it wouldn't work.
There, it worked.
Yay.